You ever just get a glimpse into something, maybe watch like a late night preview or hear a story, and it just completely uh, rewires your brain at 2 a.m.? Like it fundamentally shifts your perspective on what hustle even means, way beyond what you thought you knew.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's that feeling when you think you've seen it all, right? You think you get the game, understand the angles, and then some new lands and just pulls the rug right out. Makes you kind of reevaluate everything. That's exactly what happened after we got that sneak peek, wasn't it?
It really was. We got this early look, felt almost like a backstage pass into this new media project that's coming out soon. It's called Hustlin' in the Neon. And I gotta tell you, it wasn't just like another show or something to pass the time. This thing felt intensely real. Like it reached right through the screen and just grabbed me. It was unsettling, but in a good way.
Unsettling is definitely the word. Yeah. It wasn't polished, it was raw, unapologetic, just felt like a slice of life, super authentic, no varnish. I actually found myself obsessing over it for days afterwards, like replaying bits of dialogue, certain looks, just trying to process the depth of it all, the emotion, the realities these women shared. It just stuck deep down.
For sure. And that's kind of our mission tonight, right? This isn't just a review, it's our own like personal deep dive. Trying to excavate what we saw, what we heard. We're going to unpack the raw truths that resonated, the humanity that kind of surprised me, honestly, and what it really means to live under that kind of neon glow. Because, man, after watching it, it's not what you think you know about that world.
It never is it? Not when you actually strip away the layers, the assumptions, the curated stuff people put out there. And with Hustling in the Neon, they don't just peel back a few layers. They tear down the whole facade, make you look right at the foundations.
Right from the jump, too, Like the very first bit of dialogue we heard, it didn't ease you in at all. It just hit you like a gut punch. Amy, one of the main voices in this, she opens with this line that just puts you right on edge. You ever look in the mirror after a shift and not recognize the bee staring back?
Oh. Yeah, that line, it's more than just a question, isn't it? It's like, it speaks to this profound dissociation, that psychological shift that goes way beyond just glitter and makeup. It's about the person you become in that space. Maybe it's necessary, right? But it feels so detached from your real self. The toll of that kind of performance, wow, it's got to be immense.
Man, it absolutely is. And then Minx, another powerful voice, she just drops this truth bomb right back. No hesitation. All the time. She got glitter in her lashes, bruises behind her knees, but she's still smiling. Like rent ain't due in 2 days. That painted such a vivid picture for me. Almost painful. It's that surface thing, right? The forced smile masking the brutal grind, the actual physical toll, and that relentless pressure of just surviving, making rent. It's the definition of emotional labor, isn't it? In its rawest form, having to show emotions you don't feel just to get paid.
That's it, exactly. Perfect encapsulation of the hidden struggle. You see the outside, the smiling part that's supposed to fulfill the role, but underneath all this intense internal conflict, it immediately shows you the real emotional cost of performing a version of yourself, especially when that version feels so disconnected from who you actually are. Makes you wonder, honestly, how many people in any job feel that way after their shift, whatever that shift might be. We all wear masks, right? But for them, the stakes just feel so much higher. The disconnect, way more acute.
Totally. I mean, we've all put on a face for work or whatever, but this felt deeper, like a fundamental break from self. And it wasn't just a passing thought. They went straight into this anecdote that just amplified that feeling almost unbearably. Amy told this really uncomfortable story about a guy telling her she reminded him of his daughter. And then he just hands her $800.
Oof. Yeah, that exchange, that was deeply unsettling for me, too. On the surface, okay, $800 is real money. You could see it as a win, right, financially. But Amy's reaction, her internal conflict, it was so palpable. She asks, what the F does that even mean? It don't feel like a win. It feel like I am playing a version of myself I don't even like. It's confusing, violating almost. It's not a compliment. It's him projecting his own issues, his guilt maybe. The money doesn't validate her at all. It just complicates her sense of self even more.
Exactly. And that's what got me. Because it shows money isn't always validation. It doesn't always bring comfort. Sometimes, like then, it actually makes that awful feeling even deeper. And Minx's response to it, man, so stark, almost cynical, but it made me just stop and think. It means he hates himself, and you still got the money, so win-win.
Wow. That line from Minx, it means he hates himself. It's got so many layers. So it just strips away any idea of genuine connection or like paternal feeling. It suggests the customer isn't seeing her at all. She's just a canvas for his own baggage, his guilt, maybe some weird desire for purity is projecting onto her. And in that space where vulnerability and performance are so tangled, the cold calculation just kicks in. survival mode. For Minx, the outcome is clear. The money's real, the illusion is just the tool to get it. It's harsh, but it's brutally honest about the power dynamics there.
It is harsh, but damn, it feels real. It's the bottom line. It shows so much about the complex, often disturbing stuff happening beyond just money for service. It's about how people use each other, project their own crap, and how the person on the receiving end has to process all that emotional weight on top of everything else. And then Minx delivers this line that felt like the core paradox of the whole project, the anchor. That's the game, baby. We sell illusions, but we the ones left wondering what's real after the lights go out.
That's it. That is truly the core of it all. That one statement, it immediately made me question what's real in any hustle, any situation where you're putting on a persona. Because we all kind of sell illusions, don't we? Our professional face in an interview, our curated Instagram feed, even just the version of ourselves we show certain friends or family. But they are doing it so directly, so tangibly. And the consequences of that sustained emotional work are just so stark, so right there. What is real when the performance stops, when the lights dim, the filters come off? It's a huge question. It goes way beyond the club, right to our own quiet lives.
It really does. It makes you think about scrolling through social media, wondering if any of it's real. Is that person really living that perfect life? Or is it just another construct? This project, Hustlin in Neon, just cuts right through all that noise. And the voices behind it, the women actually putting this out there, they're so distinct, so powerful.
They absolutely are. Each one brings such a unique viewpoint, a different facet of this really complex world, just all the different ways people navigate it. Take Amy Lynn June. She introduces herself with multiple names, almost as a statement. Amy Lynn June, or June Lynn, or MEL, depending on where you follow me.
Right. That right there tells you so much. About identity, commodification, taking back control. It's like my name changes based on your access level, the interaction, what you invest. It's her asserting her agency, her worth, her boundaries right from the start. And she's so refreshingly open, brutally honest about her background, Midwest born, ran away at 17, but she immediately vehemently shuts down any narrative of being rescued or broken. She just had bills, a high sex drive, and a creative streak that didn't fit in no office cubicle. That's such a powerful pushback against the usual story.
Her defiance is just.
Yeah.
It's undeniable. Compelling. She doesn't flinch. Says it plain. I don't flinch when I talk about the things your favorite man pays for. That's pure power. Reclaiming her narrative, owning her truth, challenging society head on. No apologies. She's not trying to make anyone comfortable with her reality. She's demanding it be seen for what it actually is.
Which is exactly what this project, Hustlin in the Neon, seems to be all about. And those pivotal moments she talks about. Meeting Gia in Puerto Rico, sharing some raw truth that forged this unbreakable bond. And then Sophia and Julia, other key figures in this space, encouraging her. You got a voice. You should use it. It just underscores how crucial it is to find your platform, find your people, build a space where your reality isn't edited or watered down for someone else's comfort. Her mission statement for Hustle is so clear. This isn't a glamour show. It's not trauma porn either. It's the space we built for us where no one edits our reality to make it more palatable. That feels huge.
It is absolutely monumental. It's a total rejection of both sides, the idealizing and the exploiting. It carves out this vital middle ground for authentic storytelling, honoring the lived experience. And her signature things like her Morning After Mindsets IG live series and that tattoo she has, soft doesn't mean stupid, they really capture her whole complex persona. They speak to the sophisticated strength, a blend of vulnerability and resilience. She's embracing the complexity instead of simplifying it for people. That's what makes her so magnetic.
Man, I love that tattoo. Soft doesn't mean stupid. That's a whole vibe right there, whole philosophy. Then there's Gia Cruzley. They call her the Operator. Real name, Angie Cruzley. Fascinating background. Vietnamese and Dominican heritage bounced between Houston, OC, NYC. Her past as an exotic dancer and low-profile escort is key to her unique perspective now.
Her journey is really interesting because it's like a masterclass in strategic moves. She explicitly shifted into sex work advocacy and harm reduction consulting. This wasn't just leaving. It was a deliberate tactical pivot from participant to expert to advocate, using her experience to make things safer, more ethical for others. And just for context, harm reduction here means fighting for rights and safety, promoting safer ways of working, reducing stigma, getting access to resources, support, all without judgment. Her defining line, "Don't confuse what I do with who I am," is incredibly profound, isn't it? It's such a clear boundary, a powerful statement of self in an industry that often tries to define you by your job or what people think they see.
That line should honestly be a mantra for everyone, in any field. Separating your core self from your job, that's a struggle for so many people. And the story of her pivot is just as telling. I ain't leave the club because I was tired. I left because I was smart enough to know I wouldn't survive it forever. That's not burnout talk, right? It's foresight, strategy, self-preservation at its absolute sharpest.
Absolutely. It's a critical insight into like long-term survival.
Yeah.
And leveraging your unique skills in a new arena.
Huh.
She mentioned Sophia Luna, who seems like the big deal in digital media, pulling her into this thing called V2V. Now, V2V, from what we gathered, sounds like a new venture.
Yeah.
Focused on amplifying sex worker voices, building sustainable, empowering digital platforms for them. And Gia was brought in as a strategist, not a case study. That says so much about how she's viewed now. For her tactical mind, her ability to read club energy like language, but now applying that sharp analysis in like a boardroom setting. She's basically built a bridge between these two very different worlds.
She's basically a master chess player. The club was her board. And now she's bringing that high-level intelligence, that understanding of human dynamics to new platforms, shaping the future of this space. And then we get to Nixie Cow, who is just the myth. Real name unknown. Korean American. They literally say she emerged online like a glitch you wanted to touch. That phrase alone just sets the whole tone. Enigmatic. Powerfully alluring.
She really embodies that intrigue, that control, built a whole brand out of curated mystery. Her approach to her digital empire is so unique. Camming, sure, but also these incredibly curated experiences, erotic live sets. Early on, she did this face blur aesthetic and a coded audio series called Pedal Protocol. It wasn't about just being seen everywhere. It's about calculated allure, building anticipation, maintaining this powerful mystique that just pulls you in. She carefully crafted her own legend, pixel by pixel.
And it clearly worked. She's trusted by Sophia Luna, acts as a fixer behind more than one high-end creator strategy. There are rumors she even trains other models in narrative seduction. Her whole thing blending psychology, seduction, and power with zero apology. That just screams intentionality. It's understanding how to leverage desire, psychology, to build a lasting presence. She rarely speaks publicly, apparently, but when she does, it carries immense weight. Like gospel, the show puts it. That's pure influence architecture. Building a brand out of scarcity and perceived value, she totally gets the power of those parasocial relationships where people feel like they know you, trust you, even without direct interaction.
Exactly. It's the power of what's not said, what's implied, the carefully controlled reveal. She gets human psychology on a deep level and knows how to use it. It's fascinating how she weaponized mystery in this age of constant oversharing, created a scarcity of herself that just amplified demand. And then there's Ari Castillo, the muse. Filipino Japanese. Her journey took her from Cebu's bar scene to teen fashion, then to Vegas as a content creator.
Her transformation is wild, right? She talks about going from being a maid for a family watching Viva Max films to becoming the girl those films want to be. Now, just for context, Viva Max Films, huge streaming platform in the Philippines known for bold, often explicit, sometimes controversial adult content. So for Aria to go from watching those films to literally being the aspiration within that specific cultural space, mentored by Sophia Luna, it's so symbolic. It's about grabbing your own narrative, becoming the goal instead of just watching it. That's a massive power shift.
It speaks to incredible agency, remarkable self-authorship. Her philosophy, so concise but powerful. Nothing about me is accidental. Just, wow. In a world that often tries to strip people, especially women in this industry, of their agency, their intentionality, she's just asserting every step, every choice was deliberate. She's not passive. She's an active architect of her own destiny, carefully crafting her image, her career.
And her silent power. Her role as an aesthetic and emotional anchor for the project, letting the lens do the talking. That's another fascinating angle. She doesn't need to explain herself constantly. Her presence, her visual story, it conveys everything. It's a different kind of authority, you know? Different influence. Not about being loud, but about undeniable impact. This magnetic, quiet strength.
It truly is. These women, together, they present such a multifaceted, nuanced, and often brutal view of what hustle really means in this world. It's not just the surface glamour or even the surface struggle we usually see portrayed. It's the intricate strategies, the psychological battles, the unexpected moments of deep connection, and the absolutely harsh realities that shape their lives. And wow, do they get into those harsh realities.
Oh, they do. No punches pulled whatsoever. One of the stories that really stuck with me, really shifted my thinking, was about the VIP rooms, how things have changed. Amy asks this question almost sadly. You remember when a VIP was a flex? Like, actually meant something. Meant privacy, respect? And Gia, with her strategic brain, just lays down the cold truth. Girl, now it's just a negotiation room.
It's infuriating hearing how that dynamic got eroded.
Yeah.
The IP rooms used to mean exclusivity, right?
Yeah.
A different level of interaction, maybe more genuine connection, even within the transaction. Now as clients trying to pull out their phone before they pull out their wallet, treating it like a casting call for their OnlyFans.
Yeah.
It just vividly shows how digital platforms bleed into physical spaces, changing the whole nature of the deal, blurring lines even more for the performers. It's a constant fight for boundaries.
And the most infuriating part, how the managers, the ones who are supposed to protect the dancers, let it slide because the club just happy someone bought a room.
Yeah.
It completely undermines the dancers' control, their value, puts them in an even tougher spot, constantly fighting to upsell or just maintain boundaries against this new wave of commodification, even in what used to be a premium space.
It's a stark example of systemic issues, isn't it? Management prioritizing room sales over the safety, the professional integrity, the autonomy of the dancers. But then Minx drops that counterpoint, that defiance, that reminder of their power. But guess what? We still make them pay for fantasy, even if they think they're streaming it. It's a crucial reminder that even when the rules change, they still hold a key part of the power. The illusion, the emotional and mental work of the performance that keeps people coming back. That fuels the whole fantasy.
That's the core of it. The immense intellectual and emotional labor they still perform, no matter how the game changes. They're selling a feeling, an experience, not just access. And speaking of brutal realities, the story about Jasmine, the bottle girl who snapped. I was just chillingly vivid. One of those moments that's going to stay with me.
Oh, the night the bottle girl threw the tray.
Yeah.
Jasmine, yeah. That story, maybe more than any other, just captured the systemic lack of protection they deal with constantly. The fact that club security just blinked like it was normal when a regular slapped her ass while she was holding 4 bottles, it's not just infuriating, it's damning. It shows how normalized that kind of assault is. That casual disregard for their basic safety is built into the system.
Right. And Jasmine, she didn't blink. She snapped. Launched that tray, 4 bottles flying, section cleared out. And the DJ, the absolute coward, just tries to ignore it like, yahoo, ready for more shots. It's terrifying. Perfect little snapshot to the whole system, isn't it? The violence, the silence, the immediate attempt to just get back to normal, pretend it didn't happen, keep the money coming in.
It truly is a perfect, horrifying microcosm. And the powerful takeaway from it, the part that resonates so deeply, is Minx's reflection. That's when I knew they don't protect us unless we protect each other. That's why Jasmine's still fam to this day. It just reinforces the critical, absolutely vital role of solidarity, of chosen family in places where official protection is just absent or ignored or non-existent. It's about finding strength, safety, belonging, and community when the system completely fails you. It's a testament to human connection surviving incredible adversity.
Makes you realize how vital those bonds are, how essential that loyalty is when the system isn't built to defend you, when it actively allows you to be exploited. And then there's the story that just, it gets under your skin, hard to shake. The dancer who vanished. Kalani, the Thursdays Only dancer, the one with the tiger tattoo.
That story, for me, highlighted the incredible vulnerability, even for those who seem to be doing well. Kalani was described as quiet, smooth, pulling big tips, and then just poof, gone.
Yeah.
Flown to Bali or Dubai, apparently, by a crypto whale for a non-disclosure retreat. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, a crypto whale is someone holding massive amounts of cryptocurrency, often linked to huge wealth, sometimes high-risk stuff. And that phrase, non-disclosure retreat, it's so ominous, right? Instantly makes you think of isolation, being cut off, something far from a voluntary trip.
It is. Sends chills down your spine. In the last Instagram post they mentioned, I'm safe, don't text me. And the interpretation from the women who knew her, nah, that wasn't safe, that was code. Man, that paints such a terrifying, heartbreaking picture. You instantly feel that sense of forced compliance, a situation that might be miles away from safe, where autonomy is just gone.
It's that really difficult reality they voice so plainly, almost resignedly. But you can't tell grown women nothing when the flight private. It highlights the huge, almost irresistible pull of quick, big money, especially for those hustling just to survive, get ahead, provide for family, and it brutally exposes the dangerous risks that can come with that pull. It's a powerful temptation. For some, in desperate moments, it might seem like the only way out.
It's the ultimate paradox, isn't it? The dream of a better life, financial freedom wrapped up in this incredibly high-risk gamble that can just swallow you whole,
Mm.
and the lingering impact. How Mink says, I light a candle for her every time I walk past Locker 7. That personal detail just underscores the real human cost, the profound vulnerability that exists even for those who look like they're winning. It's a constant, quiet reminder of the unseen dangers, the hidden losses, the women who just disappear. It's heavy, man. Really heavy.
It is incredibly heavy. And these are exactly the kinds of stories that Hustlin and Neon brings out. Not just telling them, but exploring what they mean. It's not just surface struggle or surface glamour. It's about breaking down the whole architecture of authenticity versus illusion. They really dismantle the curated highlights, the sensational headlines, show us the bruises beneath the beat face, the story under the stage name.
And that's where it gets really interesting, because they're doing exactly what we try to do here on the deep dive, right? Show you what's underneath, what's really going on. And the way the hosts of Hustle interact, Amy's chaotic energy, Gia's calculation, Nixie's mystery, Arya's quiet power, it's genius. That diverse dynamic allows for this multi-layer, almost kaleidoscopic look at sex work from so many angles in a way you just don't get anywhere else. You see the nuances, the contradictions, the shared humanity, all through these really distinct lenses.
It's a masterclass in how different perspectives just enrich the whole understanding. They don't give you one single view of the industry. They show the huge spectrum of experiences, strategies, emotions within it. And it connects directly to our own experiences, navigating the digital world, right? Seeing through online facades, trying to figure out what's real versus just a construct. It forces you to question everything you see, everywhere, online and off.
Totally. Highlights that the architecture of influence isn't just in boardrooms or on Wall Street. It's in every part of how we present ourselves, how we see others. And this project's mission, real stories, real people, no filters, no shame. It's so critical, so vital, especially now. These women are taking control of their own stories, refusing to be edited or defined by what others think, whether it's media trying to paint them as a glamour show or just trauma porn.
It's profoundly empowering, pushing back against that media tendency to either idealize or sensationalize trauma. They're standing up and saying, this mic is mine. That echoes this much bigger global movement, doesn't it? Marginalized voices, reclaiming their narratives, demanding the right to define themselves on their own terms, without being forced into neat little boxes for someone else's comfort. It's a fight for self-definition.
And that's so important for mental health too, man. When you're constantly playing a version of yourself you don't like Amy said right at the start, that has huge psychological, emotional weight. It's exhausting. It eats away at your sense of self, your authenticity. I mean, I've felt that even if I wish I hadn't. Trying to be something I'm not just to fit in or get ahead. It's universal. But for these women, it's amplified like crazy.
It is a profound emotional conflict. And it's everywhere in society, not just this industry. That constant performance, the blurred lines between who you are and who you portray, it can lead to serious internal distress, anxiety, alienation. And then on the flip side, you see the huge importance of loyalty, protecting each other. Like with Jasmine and the Trey incident, that raw, genuine connection, standing up for the vulnerable, it's so vital. Reinforces the power of human connection, of chosen family, when faced with systemic neglect, exploitation.
It truly shows that even in these environments, often painted as cutthroat, isolated, there's immense solidarity, genuine care. Chosen family becomes a lifeline, reminds you that you don't have to face it all alone. And that's why we have such a soft spot for the ones who hustle the hardest, because it's not always about where they are or what they're doing, but why. The sheer grit and resilience it takes to navigate those paths. We care about mental health deeply, and we really do stand up for people from every walk of life, every corner. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do to survive. There's always a shared humanity in the struggle, you know? A common thread of resilience. We support people living their truth, whatever that looks like.
And that compassion, that deep empathy, it really shines through in their project. Hustle in the Neon. It's not about judgment. It's about understanding, solidarity. And speaking of understanding and the unseen hands behind things, there was one little detail we uncovered about this project that was just chef's kiss level irony. Pure, delicious irony.
Oh, you mean the NeonKore Media thing? Man, that was wild. Okay, so the project Hustlin in the Neon is produced by a company called NeonKore Media. And as we were doing our own digging, our own research into this whole thing, we found out that NeonKore Media was actually one of the names Daniel D.L.B. Bates, from Neon Vision Studios, considered for his own film company, way back when he was starting out.
Yes. So it's this pure, hilarious irony complete coincidence, presumably, that NeonKore Media is now producing content that, in some ways, speaks directly to his own work, his influence, the digital world he helped shape. A deep cut, right? A subtle nod. But it just shows you the interconnectedness of these media worlds, how ideas echo, names pop back up. Sometimes the universe just has a funny way of circling back. It's a perfect example of how things get big, how trends emerge, and sometimes who's behind it all isn't who you'd expect, or the connections are way more intricate than they look on the surface.
It's a perfect example of the architecture of influence being way more complex and sometimes just serendipitous than we might ever think. It's not always some grand plan. Sometimes it's just the universe playing a little trick, or two paths crossing in the most unexpected way. Reminds you that even the most carefully built narratives have these hidden threads connecting them somewhere else.
And that's the beauty of really digging into things, right?
Right.
Taking that deep dive beyond the headlines, you find these surprising connections, these hidden layers that make the whole picture so much richer, so much more compelling. It's never just what's on the surface. You got to be willing to look closer. Listen to the whispers under the noise.
Never. After really sitting with everything we heard, everything we felt from hustle, hustle, hustle and the neon, it truly makes you wonder. In a world where everyone's selling something, an image, a product, perfect life online, a raw performance, how do you really know what's authentic, what's truly real? And when you boil it all down, after the money's made and the lights go out, does it even matter? As long as you survived, as long as you got through the shift.
It leaves you with that unsettling but really personal question, doesn't it? What parts of ourselves do we trade away for the hustle, for survival, for success? And what actually remains when the spotlights dim, the performance ends? It's something we all grapple with, I think, on some level, whether we admit it or not.
Think about the illusions you encounter in your own life, the hustles you undertake, the personas you put on. What truly remains when the show's over, and it's just you, alone in the quiet? Something to chew on, something to really sit with. Thanks for going on this deep dive with us tonight.